Hello everyone, so welcome back to this series of the CSS essay that we're doing, and this is part 2 of that series. So before we start, I just want to consider this a simple discussion rather than a lecture. So you can imagine that I'm talking to you one-to-one, and you can ask your questions in the comments in the end. This is going to help you learn better. Before we start, people are always wondering what basic knowledge you need for the essay paper. Well, you need a good amount of current affairs knowledge and English knowledge. So for the English part, you're going to be needing a few books. CSS Essay is a very different thing as compared to normal essays that you would be writing or you would have seen in your life. So Jacob Newman has a book and it's called A No-Nonsense Way to Writing Essays. And it's very close to what, the kind of essays that are required for the CSS paper. So that's the first book I would recommend to you. So once you're done with the essay and the structure and everything, you're left with the grammar. So Michael Swan has this really good book for grammar. You should be using that. And lastly, the GRE vocabulary list is basically everything and anything you'll need just to prepare your vocabulary for the MCQs part and for making your English very good. So I would recommend that. Now moving forward, we're just getting introduction with the CSS essay paper. And once you've done with your English, how do you make your current affairs good? There are different ways you can do that, but good current affairs knowledge is very important because most of the topics that you're seeing, some of them or most of them will be from current issues, and you're going to have to give very relevant examples, right? So I think reading the newspaper and everything, everyone knows about this. Yes, I have separate videos on my Instagram where I've explained that how you should read the newspaper. So it goes without saying that you should be updated with what's happening in the news. And if you're reading something and you're not really sure what's the root issue is, so I would advise that you just have a little notebook by your side in which you just write down about the history of things and why these exist and everything, right? So reading newspaper, reading editorials like The Economist, right? Reading Pakistan and World Affairs by Shamshad Ahmed, and reading the Foreign Affairs magazine, Jahangir World Times, the IPRI magazine. These are very good options, right? They're going to build the foundation, the base for you. So let's get started. This is the main thing that everyone is waiting for. Everyone wants to know, why do people fail in CSS essay, right? It's the exam that 90% of people fail in, the most difficult one. And if you see the syllabus that they've given, the official syllabus on the website, it actually just says this. There's not a lot of information, right? They've just said that they expect this from you. So they've really kept it vague, and that's for a reason, because they do need a subject in which they can fail people. And essay is the most easy thing to fail people because it's gonna be subjective. The answers are subjective. But the number one reason, things that people tell you in the end, I'm going to tell you in the start. The number one reason why people fail in the CSS essays because they don't understand the topic. You can write that down again. They do not understand the topic they're writing on. I'll give you an example. I think there was in 2022, 2021, and people started writing on, boys will be boys, right? So some of these are very slippery, like they put them in just so that people can slip on them and you take the bait. So if you are gonna be writing an essay, I would want you to write an essay on something that you are 100% sure about, right? Different things can have different meanings, but the first rule, the number one rule that you should write down, you should know it in your brain. When you see 10 topics in a CSS essay paper, you should eliminate the ones that you do not know a thing about, and then you should also eliminate the ones that you are not so sure about. 50-50, even that does not work. So really you need to be sure, and a lot of people fail because they think that they've understood the topic. In 2020, when I gave my paper, I attempted this topic, tourism in Pakistan, opportunities and challenges. So basically what it was asking is, we're breaking down the topic. It was asking us to just define the current state of tourism in Pakistan, right? Does Pakistan have potential for it? And then there must be a reason why we're not realizing that potential. What are the opportunities and what are the challenges to implement or to bring tourism in Pakistan? It was very simple, but again, a lot of people even failed in this. It's because they thought that, he's asking for how tourism is currently being operated in Pakistan, right? And how many tourists are coming into Pakistan, and what kind of different activities they do, and then what do these tourists, what kind of challenges they're facing, and what opportunities do they have to invest in Pakistan. You can see that it takes it in a different direction, especially at the end, right? Tourism in Pakistan, opportunities and challenges. Break it down. Basically, you need to break it into parts. Tourism in Pakistan, he's asking you for the current state of tourism in Pakistan, and then he's asking you for opportunities, and then he's asking you for challenges. So I hope that makes sense. Let me give you another example that has been repeated over the years. Is the first one was gender equality is a myth, and the second one was gender equality was a myth, but in the end there was a question mark. You see how this changes the requirement of the topic. In the first one, he's just asking you to prove or to refute that gender equality is a myth, but in the second, he's actually giving you an option to pick between the both sides. And again, there were some people who had attempted the gender equality is a myth in the first essay. They failed in that. And in the second one, they made the same mistake, but this one even had different requirements. In this essay, you were actually supposed to tell that maybe there are a few instances where gender equality is not a myth, but overall, largely gender equality is a myth. So now that you know the reason why a lot of people fail in the essay paper, and the first reason, the biggest reason, is because people don't understand the requirements of the topic, let us discuss the kind of topics you're going to be facing when you see that paper. And largely there are two types of topics, right? One is, you can say, descriptive or persuasive topic. The one that we were talking about, tourism in Pakistan, opportunities and challenges, it's a very, very straightforward one. And then the second one is an argumentative topic, like gender equality is a myth, in the end question mark, in which he's asking you to pick a side and to refute the other side. Goes without saying that the first topic is much more easier, that when he's giving you a descriptive, a persuasive topic, he's actually giving you direction. The difference is that in this essay, you actually need to write at least 2,000 to 2,500 words. That's a minimum, right? And you need to write these like 17 to 18 paragraphs. And later on in the series, we'll get to how the paragraphs need to be, the body and structure. Right now, you should be just focused on what kind of topic you have to pick. And then, you just have to pick a side, and it's not that much scoring because everyone's going to be picking these topics. But when we talk about the argumentative essay, even you can pass the exam with 1,500 words essay. And the word count, can be less, you will still pass. You will actually get more number because it's more technical and less people prepare it. So both of these have a different kind of thesis statement, which we will discuss later in the series, but the argumentative topic is more technical. If you're thinking in your mind right now that what should I do, which topic should I pick, let me make it very, very clear for you. In the CSS essay paper, your only objective is to pass. 14 numbers, that's it. That's how much I got. If you want high scoring subjects, we can do that elsewhere. We can pick good optional subjects. We can perform better elsewhere. We just need to pass. I would not risk it. I would not recommend you guys going for an argumentative essay unless you have that kind of a grip on English. Let's make it clear. If you're thinking that, oh my God, 1,000 people are attempting this essay, why should I? That's kind of a stupid argument, because maybe you're attempting it in a different way, and then there are 2 to 3 examiners. Everyone's going to be checking it differently. If you fulfill the requirements, if 1,000 people fulfill the requirements, they will pass. Obviously they will pass. So this is not an issue about whether you should pick a topic because less people attempted, more chances of passing. The chances of failing in the argumentative topic are much more. Now in this video, what we've learned is that how you can build your knowledge for the essay paper using the books that I recommended, and then building your current affair knowledge through the newspaper and through the different, one book that I mentioned. So another one that I would mention, I forgot to say it in the start, is a constitutional history of Pakistan by Hamid Khan, also very good. Pakistan and World Affairs, like I said, by Shabshad Ahmed. Different editorials, and then exploring background, and then using just the internet and UN data to check facts and stats for these things, building the knowledge slowly, but also realizing that what are your strengths and weaknesses. Everyone has a different background, everyone has studied different things. Picking the right topic is very important, right? This is the number one reason why people fail. And there are two types of essays, argumentative and descriptive, and we should be aiming for descriptive essay. That's not to say that I want to discourage you from an argumentative topic, but at the end of the day, if you want to write an argumentative topic, we will also learn how to do that, right? In the next series, I'm going to be talking about how we can brainstorm from different topics, how we can write down data, and how we can eventually translate it into a rough outline. So if you're enjoying this series, share it with your friends, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.